Texas Podcast Massacre contains spoilers and adult language. For more horror, visit us at our website at texaspodcastmassacre.com.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the horror-thon. And remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks. The clock is ticking. It's almost time.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
This is Texas Podcast Massacre.
Welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, Mitch, and with me, as always, are the best group of robotic Celtic witches that I could have ever possibly asked for. Lisa.
Happy Halloween.
And Nate.
Drinking and doctoring, a great combination.
Solid. Well, happy Halloween to both of y'all.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you.
Don't sing it anymore.
I'm not gonna sing it in the way you are wanting.
I really
it's not
wanted.
gonna happen.
I know it was a rough shot. So each week on Texas Podcast Massacre, we take a look at a different horror movie, and we debate a horror-related topic with our unsuspecting victim, who is usually someone that is not what we would call a horror fan. We're going to do that a little differently this week because I have invited my brother, who has driven up from Santa Mira to sneak into our mask factory and join us. So, welcome to my brother, Bill.
Greetings and salutations.
Thank you. No, nice. Bring some class.
That was very rough. Greetings and salutations.
I like it.
Got a little nervous when you hit the. What, I'm not sure what this podcast thing is. I'm in my 40s, and this is. I had to Google what we were doing. This is.
This is the 8-track of today. I don't know. I don't know.
Sure, we don't know.
I don't know.
We don't know.
No,
I mean, I first watched
It's
this
the
movie on
mixtape.
VHS, so
It's more the mixtape of today.
Yes.
I think except
cooler. I would say cooler.
I would agree with that. So, Bill, I've told several stories about you and Ashley, my sister, getting me into the world of horror films and pretty much making me the way I am. So, I'm sure my mom thanks you for that. Our mom.
Probably our best story was you as a young pup, an 8-year-old, and us getting on the phone upstairs and faking Freddy Krueger calls to you to get you to do what we wanted you to do, which is probably explains a lot.
Yeah. The best was that y'all had the soundtrack, and so y'all put on the opening theme, and yeah, that's terrifying.
Go hard or go home is what we always say. I mean, we have a high
you already were
production
home,
value.
so you had
That's
to go-
right. That's
you had
good.
to go
So
hard.
we just went hard. That's
Just
right.
had to go hard. That's
right. That's also what she said.
That's what she said.
Yeah. So as an introduction, what are your favorite types of horror films, or do you have a particular decade? Because we had a discussion, I guess, a few weeks ago about were the '90s better than the '80s, or are horror movies today better than they were years ago? Where would you stand on that?
I'm not much of a thinking man. I don't like this, this new Japanese horror. I don't like to think a lot.
That's not new. That was bad.
Old school slasher. I came up Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Pumpkinhead. Favorite horror movie probably of all time.
Really? Pumpkinhead?
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
Demon of Vengeance.
Future Pumpkinhead. Future
I
episode.
know. I would not have picked Pumpkinhead as your favorite.
Well, this is my favorite, actually.
Well, that's why I brought you on for this
I want
one.
to spoil.
That's
right.
Well, cool. Well, with that said, we'll go ahead and get into our debate question of the week.
We will see how the Lord favors you.
No, you dare not, you blasphemer! He will punish you. The jaws of hell will devour you. All of you! No!
So, at the end of this movie, and we'll get into the details around it in a bit, but it has some of the most over-the-top screaming right at the end. I mean, it's fantastic. Fantastic. So my question to y'all this week is there a better over-the-top scream in any horror film? Any kind of over-the-top yelling, screaming, the main character, doesn't matter. Just, what do you got?
Yeah.
Bill, as our guest this week, you take the first crack at it.
This is cake. There is nothing that beats this one. Anyone who saw the movie Poltergeist knows The most important line in any horror movie is, "You only remove the headstones!" Why? Why? His family is up. They're getting attacked by a ghostly dinosaur, and he is taking the time to tell his real estate agent or boss, I can't remember which one, it's been a few years, about the fact that their house is on a cemetery. Now, I get it. I'd be pissed too. But your family is upstairs with a ghostly dinosaur. You only remove the headstones.
Yeah.
You have to drop that scream in the post-production.
Yeah.
I think.
Like,
'Cause I can't hear out of...
Turn the levels all the way.
I cannot hear out of my right ear now. It's fine.
Yeah, I tried to catch it. Did not work.
Microphones cannot handle Craig T. Nelson. That's a well-known fact.
Wow, Coach. I forgot that Coach was in that movie. That was good.
Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah.
Very good.
Only Coach could deliver that line with the gravitas it deserves.
It's rousing.
Lisa, Craig T. Nelson was an actor in the 90s,
Yeah, I
80s,
know
and he
who
was
he
also
is.
the coach.
I loved the show Coach.
Did you?
Yeah, Coach was great. Me and my sister would march around the house at the beginning opening song. It was fantastic.
Very scary, also.
He's also
also.
the dad in Parenthood. For the it's a newer show, but yeah. I don't know Craig T. Nelson. Come on, Bill.
Man. All right, well, Lisa, on that note, who you got?
You have to yell as loud or louder. Go.
Please not louder. This equipment can only take so
Blow out
much.
our eardrums. No, I think I'm going to go classic. So Psycho. I mean, you don't get more classic than that shower scene.
Yeah.
That's just,
That's a good
so
scream.
many things were based off of that later. Jamie Lee Curtis, when she was in Scream Queens, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, so she mimicked that because that's her mom, right? In Psycho, I think that's her mom.
It is.
yeah.
Janet Leigh.
Janet
Yes,
Leigh.
very good.
Yeah, so she mimicked that, and it's iconic. That's one of the first
So you're saying Craig T. Nelson really watched Psycho first, and then he got his from there.
That's basically
is
what he
you're
based
saying.
it off of. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's
Any list that's got
surprising.
Janet Leigh and Craig T. Nelson is already starting off strong.
Yeah,
That is-
no kidding.
No. Well,
Go ahead, man.
I was going to say,
go for it.
you're nervous now all of a
You
sudden.
go for it.
Oh, God. Okay, mine is definitely not on the, y'all went a whole different way than I went. The movie Troll 2 has my favorite.
Yes.
When I don't even remember his name, give it the glasses. He's standing there watching as the witch has turned his friend into a whole mess of vegetables, and the trolls begin to eat her. And he has the worst, oh my God, for like 5 minutes. He is just saying that.
So Derek,
But he's
did
basically
that movie?
Derek in a film.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I find it so funny.
But isn't he also like partially treed?
Oh, yes.
himself?
He is a partial tree at
Yeah,
this
he's also
point.
partially a tree.
Have you seen Troll 2, Bill?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening here. The last couple
highly
minutes.
recommend it.
So yeah, Nate introduced me to this.
Highly
Troll 2, there is no Troll 1. They're actually goblins, and they're vegetarian. They turn people into vegetables to eat them. So, good message for the kids, at least.
And they're from it's a town, right? Nilbog?
Yeah, from Nilbog.
Yeah. Goblins backwards, so you know.
Yeah,
Nilbog.
it's a real head scratcher on that one.
You want one where you don't have to think at all, Bill? Watch that one.
Is like Troll 3, are they gluten free? Is that like the next?
There's no Troll 1 and there's no Troll 3.
Yeah. it just ended.
It should have went to 4, if anything. Then it would have been
In
consistent.
space.
Yeah.
Troll 4 in space.
That's the next logical path. Is always in space. Nate, what do you have?
In space, no one can have vegetables.
Or into hood. Which,
So mine, as listeners will remember, one of my favorite horror movies, maybe even my favorite horror movie of all time, is Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And the original one in '56 was real good, but the remake in the late '70s with Donald Sutherland is also a good one. And the scream at the very end, if you remember, they get separated. They're like the only two humans left. He sees her in Washington, D.C., and he's like, oh my God, I've been faking being a pod person for like months. He sees her, he goes up to her, he goes, oh my God, like, I finally found you. And then she's one of them. She goes, "Argh!" with like a point or whatever.
Yeah.
And it is awesome. And then, boom, mic drop, movie's over.
Oh.
It was real good.
yeah, the remake is solid.
The remake is really good.
Oh, Lord.
Nate has
That's
a
the picture. I'm showing the
from
picture
movie.
right now.
Yeah.
So that's the point when she does the yell. It's fantastic.
Yeah, the remake is solid. All right. Well, I think they're all winners, but one is clearly more of a winner than the others, and it's mine as always.
False. False.
Craig,
You're maybe
Craig T. Nelson, I think
you're maybe tied for fourth, Mitch. Maybe.
a 4-way tie for fourth.
Maybe.
Nice. Yeah, no, I think Craig T. Nelson was a solid.
I would
pick.
remind you that they only removed the headstones.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we have the winner there.
Yeah, it's
Why?
it's like your car exploded and you like spend the time to like go to the dealership and write them an angry letter. You know, you're like, wait, your car just exploded. I don't care.
I don't care.
They did not fix that right, and I will let them know. Okay.
Oh man! All right. Well, we've got a lot to get into with this movie.
A lot.
This is Bill. You already mentioned this. Your favorite, potentially your favorite horror film
Of all time.
Yeah, of all time. So
Probably the most important horror movie of all time, but we'll get into that.
Wow.
you are in for a treat this episode. So with that,
That's a preview.
let's move on to this week's movie of the week: Halloween 3: Season of the Witch.
I do love a good joke, and this is the best ever. A joke on the children. I'm glad you'll be able to watch it. You've got to believe me. They're going to kill us. All of us. Stop it! The world's going to change tonight, Doctor. Happy Halloween. Stop it!
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, the night no one comes home.
I just want to so that was the
whispering.
original.
I was like, who's whispering at the end of this? Oh, it was just the trailer.
That was
Okay,
the
okay.
theatrical trailer, and yeah, throughout the entire trailer, there's just someone in the background whispering.
Season of the
Halloween 3. Get your I mean, there's random stuff being whispered.
Yeah.
I want to believe someone did that in post we're putting on YouTube, but I don't know. That may be.
I don't want to jump too far ahead here, but I just need to point out that it says this is the night that nobody came home, but you had to be home to watch this on TV.
Yeah.
So
You know how you explain that? Stonehenge.
yeah, there we go.
Explain.
That explains everything.
Explained it. I
You
don't
wouldn't
know.
even believe. So,
Yeah.
Halloween 3: Season of the Witch is the third installment of the Halloween franchise, and this is the only one that does not include Michael Myers.
Well, it
I'm
actually
sure-
does include Michael Myers.
Well, it does in sort of
On a TV in the background.
Yeah, a meta sort of way.
Yep.
Which we'll get into. That I have a question for y'all around that. But this movie is about Dr. Dan, who is investigating the strange mass and this guy that's been murdered by what looks like these kind of corporate suits. Finds out that not everything is as it appears in the peaceful Santa Mira mask making community. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
It used to be a farmland. Now they make masks.
Very tight knit Irish community in Santa Mira. You know, it sounds Irish, right? Yeah, nailed it.
It's where we all like to settle, I think.
Yeah.
Nate, what kind of stats do you have for this one?
So when I heard them say Santa Mira, I immediately I was like, oh, this movie is awesome because Santa Mira is the fake town in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, also in California, which is super cool. So this movie came out in 1982. It is a tight 98 minutes. I think 40 of those minutes is someone escaping in one way or another. In IMDb, it's a 4.7, which is pretty low, and on Rotten, it is a 37%. So not
Like a 4.7 on a 5 or a 4.7 on
4.7 out of 10.
it's solid.
It is not super well regarded. The tagline, there's a few taglines, but one of the taglines is, "And now the earth will run with blood again." That's the tagline. The director is Tommy Lee Wallace, who was married to and then divorced the ex-wife in this movie, Annie from the first Halloween movie. And so he ended up directing Fright Night 2 and It, the TV movie in 1990.
They made a Fright Night 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That's Fright Night 2. They made a Fright Night 2. That's the tagline for that movie.
So he did the Stephen.
Yeah, 1990. Yeah, the TV movie. Yep.
Oh wow!
I guess the people needed more Fright
Yep.
Night.
Yeah. This was his first movie. This is his first movie he directed. So the main character Tom Atkins in the 80s, he was all over the place as a character actor. He was in Lethal Weapon, Escape from New York, and The Fog. John Carpenter's The Fog. John Carpenter helped with the music in this movie as well as doing it for the first two. So the plan was by John Carpenter to make, after the first two were Michael Myers, every other movie after that would be a standalone part of like an anthology. And this movie was made for $2.5 million and made only $14 million in the box office, whereas the first one made 70 and the second one made 25.5. So that
they said, screw it,
so that
bring it
plan
back?
was then scrapped just because of the poor returns of the box office, and then they went back to showing Michael Myers.
Because how many people literally went not knowing and expecting to see Michael Myers? And
I bet it got bad buzz in the beginning because they're like, oh, Halloween 3, first two, like Michael Myers who's stabbing, babysitters and whatnot, and then they're like, why is this Irish guy talking so much? They probably, you know what I mean? Like, I can see that is jarring. I mean, I get it.
I think we're being a little harsh. I mean, it was 2.5 and it made 12. I mean, that's
it made 14. Yeah. But I mean, compared to the other ones, compared to the other ones, yeah. I mean, it's still making some money, but it was going down. I think, and the executives didn't like
4,
it.
7, 12, 14 million. We got some solid. I think we're being
they're all numbers.
They're just numbers.
Yeah. So the original writer was this guy named Nigel Neal, and he actually sued to have his name off of this because they added too much violence to the movie.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What did he think he signed up for?
Well, he wrote this. He's like, all right, this is like a Halloween thing, and then all of a sudden, we need to charge that this is Halloween, right? We need to charge level. We need a little more face explosions, a little more other stuff. And so then he's like, I'm out. I'm out of this.
I could think of 10 better reasons to sue over this movie.
Yeah.
Which might.
There's a lot. That's true. This movie made Roger Ebert's most hated list before he died. It remained there until his death.
That's awesome.
The reason why maybe Tom Atkins wasn't looking super jazzed up in parts of this movie is because he actually got pneumonia during the filming of this movie, which makes it tough to act and run probably and say lines. So I mean, part of it I get it. The actual masks, so the skull, the witch, and the jack-o'-lantern were actually sold as a tie-in to this movie at the time, and so. They were trying to get like a nice action figure selling with the movie or the show kind of thing. Did
they sell any?
Probably not. If it sold like this movie did, probably not as
well. Groundbreaking. That's where E.T. got the idea to sell Reese's Pieces afterwards.
That is true. And then this is my favorite note I've ever taken as part of a stat line for a movie. So in the New York Times review, there was a quote that says literally, Halloween 3 manages to be anti-children, anti-capitalism, anti-television, and anti-Irish all at the same time.
That's high praise.
That is a literal quote.
High praise.
That is a quote in a review in the New York Times in 1982.
Was it anti-Irish?
Yes. I would say so. Oh man.
Well, wait, anti-Catholic though?
No, Irish. You said
no.
Irish.
You said four. What was? So it was
anti-children.
You said I though. That's more pirate than Irish.
Anti-capitalism, anti-television, and anti-Irish all at the same time.
Okay.
Hitting the four boxes of all movies.
Yeah, I heard Catholicism, not capitalism. I don't know. I got you. I'm with you.
Gotcha.
Okay, so first off, overall impressions. So, Bill, explain why this is your favorite movie of all time. Briefly, I guess.
There's not enough time. So first of all, let's talk about Dr. Dan. This is my man. I work in healthcare. He broke every Joint Commission violation that there is within the first 3 minutes of the hospital.
A lot of HIPAA
There's HIPAA violations. There was inappropriate touching of hips and other items on the nurses in there.
Yeah.
This guy's the Slayer. All right. And by Slayer, I mean Slayer of ass. I mean, there is not a woman that was in this movie that Dr. Dan didn't know. And by no, I mean biblically no. This is unreal. First of all, this movie's ahead of its time. Okay. Wow. So everything Dr. Dan does gets you killed in every other horror movie. Is that right? Scream made a whole series on this. But no, Dr. Dan, he drinks, he fornicates, he cusses. My man is the hero. That's right. He damn near saved the whole world. He came up one channel short.
Yeah.
Which is disappointing.
I was saying, how many people die? That's a lot of people.
It is. I mean, he lost, but he...
It's a Meatloaf situation. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, I agree. Completely.
So this is the franchise that gave us Jamie Lee Curtis as probably the best final girl and then now has also in your reckoning the greatest antagonist.
What did Tom Atkins go on to do after this? I mean, there was some of those '80s movies, but he didn't really return to horror, which it seemed like maybe he should have.
Seemed like a natural. I totally agree. Yeah. You know, I think when you can look at a movie and you can look at the protagonist, you can close your eyes and you can imagine Burt Reynolds or Tom Selleck playing that exact same role. Gold.
Yeah, except we don't have the funding.
Yeah, I was saying, like, I would have loved to see Burt Reynolds as the main person.
Would have been amazing.
That would have been awesome. I would have loved that.
I'll tell you this: Dr. Dan is the greatest to me, if only because his reaction, and we'll get into the details, but his reaction to the family dying, his slow like.
Yeah.
Oh, just great. No one coached him on that. Yeah, that was pure.
That's one take magic.
Yeah. That was one take.
Yeah. That was probably the pneumonia flaring up. He's like, my lungs. Either way it works, which is impressive.
He's probably just praying for the sweet release of death.
Yeah. It's impressive.
So Dr. Dan, I mean, we'll just jump into Lisa, what did you think about Dr. Dan as a protagonist in this movie?
Oh yeah, don't hold back.
Okay, so I'm glad Bill loves Dr. Dan. I do not like Dr. Dan.
This is going to be a fire and ice situation.
Oh yeah, that's why I asked.
I really think what's that movie that they keep making with like all the old guys, like all the action explosions,
the
everything.
Expendables.
Yeah. I think that they got the idea from the Expendables, from having Dr. Dan win, because he's like, I don't know, 60 in this movie, and yet somehow he's the one that survives. So I don't know.
No.
He looks very Tom Cruise-esque. I don't know what you're talking about.
You mean to tell me that just in the moment that you said, what's the movie with the fire and the explosions and the guys, and you just busted out Expendables? It was like, yeah, absolutely.
Well, she said all the old guys.
Oh, the old guys.
The old guys.
I missed that. I went, that is amazing.
Yeah.
No.
That's like, that thing with the,
got it right here.
He's either red
so
or...
That's why
either
I've challenged us
or
for game night lately. No,
Jesus.
So no, not a fan of Dr. Dan. I don't...
No.
Was it the fact that he neglected his kid? What was the... What?
I would say
we need to explore this.
I would say he neglected to neglect his kids. He was so far away from neglecting. He wasn't even thinking about neglecting him. They were like off somewhere else.
I love that he had the 6-pack of beer on top of the payphone as he's calling to say, "Yeah, I'm not going."
There's got to be a montage on YouTube somewhere of this guy like saying, "Oh, let's get a drink."
Yeah,
like, that's got to be a montage.
Literally,
somewhere.
one of the quotes he says like, "Man, it's getting pretty late. I could use a drink." And it's clearly noon. It is clearly like sun in the middle of the sky.
Look, my man grabbed a 6-pack of MGD, the champagne of beers, for the ride down to Santa Mira. What's not to like about this guy?
Yeah.
Everything.
It was a simpler, more drunken time.
Did he misdiagnose anything in the hospital? He was spot on.
The guy got his head
broken face
exploded right in front of him.
I don't know. How many days of medical school is broken? And it's like the first. That's orientation.
It's orientation. He didn't need an X-ray though. He just looked up. And said,
also, the nurse started screaming bloody murder. Does he get up and run to her rescue? No. He very slowly gets up. It's like, what the hell is that?
That's the one thing.
Walks really slowly down the hallway.
My one criticism is that his running is very slow.
It's awful.
I wish his running would have been, again, maybe it was pneumonia related.
Walking pneumonia.
But I think
see what I did there.
Yeah, it was good. He was, it was a jogging pneumonia. How about that? Yeah, it was not great. I think I'm probably more on Lisa's side than your guys' side.
Thank you, Nate.
I thought he was very interesting, though. I was interested by who this character was and who this actor was, really. I was thinking, what if Burt Reynolds? Like, I was thinking, man, I wish they really could have gotten a budget and, gone with, because this guy's kind of like an off-brand Burt Reynolds kind of a deal, right? I wish they would have gotten, the legit actors. Where's the Donald Pleasance, right? Of this, you know what I mean? Like a little bit more of a little bit more of an actor who's got a little more cachet or something. But
Mitch, you haven't really weighed in on
bad dad. He's a bad dad.
No, Dr. Dad or Dr. Dan.
He's not Dr. Dad. No. He's not Dr.
I love the little cheap ass plastic mask he brings that have the old school just single string attached at the back.
Yeah.
He's like, he's fine.
He got copper shamrock.
He was good I liked him up until the point when he's going above and beyond just to save his girlfriend. When he would have been yeah, peace girl, I'm gonna go find someone else. Like, why does he care about this one chick?
He's a reluctant hero.
Yeah. Like very reluctant.
Very, like, shit.
That is true. This guy seems like he is kind of a playboy. I don't know why the ladies are going for him. Maybe the early 80s was a different time.
No. That mustache is
but
horrible.
yeah, it seems like I guess you know what? It wasn't really for the girlfriend. I think it was more for the kids. Like at the very end, he's like he tries to call the wife.
Now he lives near a town that's main source of commerce is making masks. And you were wondering why all the women aren't going for the ER doc that's in the town? Come on.
No,
I get
that.
Not from there. She's not from Santa Mira.
It wasn't that long a drive because he only grabbed a 6-pack.
That's true.
Yeah.
45 minutes tops outside the city.
Max.
I will just say that his fighting skills when he's being attacked by first a single arm, then a one-armed robot, and then I mean, it was not impressive. That's where he kind of lost me.
He fights to the level of competition. Is what I would say. If it's like 3 fingers, he struggles. A whole person, he struggles. He just kind of struggles equally against all comers.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I would like to point out that he did remember to call his kids to take the mask off first before saving all the rest of humanity.
Yeah, it's good.
And it was the wife. Let's just call a spade here. The wife is the one who hung up on him.
Yeah, but if
because he's been
kids are alive and they listen to Dr. Dim.
If he had those extra seconds, maybe he saves the kids regardless.
No, I said he shouldn't have been the guy who drank wolf. All the time. That's what I wrote.
That's good.
We could have saved humanity.
Yeah.
But, or at least the West Coast or whatever. I don't know.
All right. Well, let me point it to his opposite in this film, Colonel Cochrane, and really what is the most bizarre coven ever. He really stresses this is the pagan ritual of Samhain or Samhain. I don't know how the hell you say it. Samhain. I don't care.
Yeah. I wrote my notes Sam Hain in the membrane.
Jesus. But all these people are robots. I don't know where he's getting the material in
places
over here in Santa Mira.
There's a mine. There's a mine.
You wouldn't believe how we did it.
Well, here's the problem. So the hobo dude at one point says he brought in all of his own people from wherever he came from, but then he also has technology to make you into a robot.
Yeah.
Quickly.
He brought it. He brought it.
Yeah. Pretty.
He brought in all the Irish engineers. They made all the robots, and then he killed them. He tested the masks on them. How about that? See, there you go. First guinea pigs.
All right. Sure. So what do y'all think about him as the villain in this? Him and his cult.
So why does the hotel in whatever they were staying in, cottage owner guy?
I mean the Rose of Shannon Hotel? Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Just making sure we're talking about not the Dublin Inn, which is also in this town in the background. The Rose of Shannon Hotel. Got it. Okay.
Why does he have such a ridiculously strong accent and Cochrane has nothing?
I don't know. He's assimilated. He probably put a voice box in his throat. Who even knows? He can do it all.
Yeah. When you've been on the earth for as long as he presumably has, you don't need to affect
since World War II. Whatever.
And maybe who knows? Maybe the piece of Stonehenge, helps him. I don't know. None of his whole arc makes any sort of sense.
No, none. He's like a mastermind until he goes into full James Bond villain mode.
That was just about to say James Bond villain.
But
totally.
like a longer version,
which
actually really explains it.
James Bond also banging every chick in his movie, so this is totally a horror James Bond movie. Straight up.
I actually never thought about that this way, but this is kind of like
I
mean, all you're missing is like a song in the beginning and some
the Silver Shamrock. The Silver Shamrock.
That's a good point. Just need some silhouettes of naked girls and people shooting at the camera.
Oh, there's naked round pumpkins. I mean, you're getting close, right?
Right. Yeah, he's just a James Bond that's not good at his job.
Yeah.
He's kind of a dick. I mean, let's just call it. He says that, let's play a joke on the kids. Let's kill them all. That's not really a joke.
Yeah, I don't get the prank. His other pranks must be hot sellers if this is his big masterpiece. I don't get it. I don't know where really else to say about Colonel Cochrane. Other than that, his explanation is great. Or how he even gets Stonehenge. So they subtly show you this whole Stonehenge missing a piece of
how are they doing this?
And they put it at the very beginning of the film, and they make you watch it. It's not like just some news clip in the background. It's front and center because they know no one is going to connect the dots because it's so far the fuck out there. There's no way to connect those dots. And then halfway through when they're like, how'd you get it? You wouldn't believe.
You wouldn't believe it.
You wouldn't believe it.
You wouldn't believe it.
You wouldn't even believe it. You got to give some conviction.
I still don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Trump got his notes from this guy. I mean, it's the greatest. You wouldn't believe it. It's going to be spectacular.
Trump would hope for 1/37th of this wall of Stonehenge that this guy does. He's not even in the realm of that.
Yeah.
What I love about this guy is he has 9 lines. I think you brought this up. It's just like 9 lines the whole, but he gave his all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He sold.
Yeah.
Sold.
I did like how concerned he is when Dr. Dan realizes that knitting grandmother thing is a robot.
Yeah, he's like, oh, my
And
robot.
so he's like, oh, this was an antique. Oh, man. I was like,
I mean, I think they're all antiques. I mean, basically, there's robots. And the director wanted to make them all very red-haired, just to make sure you didn't
just
know.
to really emphasize
Luckily, they didn't go directly for that, which was nice. They didn't need to be more anti-Irish.
I mean, all they need to be doing was eating full plates of potatoes and just call it a day.
They eat potatoes, their gears work, and then apparently they're filled with orange juice. so it all works out really well. Yeah. And they actually used like an orange juice like paste as the actual blood of that.
That was orange juice?
Yeah, that was orange juice. Yeah.
Yep. Fantastic.
Yeah, love it.
And they spent $2.5 million on this
somehow.
thing?
They used fresh. They didn't use concentrate.
Oh, yeah,
so they really
like
added
that.
to
Freshly
the bunch.
squeezed.
Yeah.
Most of it was to keep that mustache looking nice and proper.
I do like that he took their best salesman in the whole company. Says, you're dying first.
No, not even that. Worst customer appreciation ever.
Yes.
Yes. Not only that, the woman who's there because she has a store and she's just like, well, I just don't want to do this on the phone. I just get my order from I drive all the way from San Francisco to come pick it up in person. She gets her face melted off.
Yeah.
Although she is
tampering a malfunction.
She is tampering a little bit, which
or misfire. That's what he says.
It's a misfire. Yeah. I don't think LEDs work that way. First off. I don't understand how she gets her literally whole face. And then, of course, we see the first bug that comes out.
What's up with that?
Yeah, the bug. I don't know. The bugs. I mean, I get the face melt.
Yeah,
you're going to go that.
Totally.
Get the face melt?
Face melt plus bugs?
I think was the bugs just so that because, I mean, if they just explode, then that's it. But if they have the bugs, it affects and the snakes.
Yeah, let's don't forget the snakes.
A wider range.
The snake played an important part. Yeah,
the snakes were important. Yeah. The random other bugs.
No, that makes no sense.
It was just
the giant snakes that come out, that makes sense.
It's like you're gambling. You pull the lever, snakes. Okay, then a snake comes out. Right. You pull the lever, it spins. You get face explosion. I mean, it's random.
Especially because didn't St. Patrick get all the snakes out of Ireland? So is this another Irish? Is this an Irish slant?
And into people's faces.
Yes, out into faces. Yeah,
exactly.
Oh no.
Okay, so I have a question.
Maybe it is anti-Catholic as well.
Maybe.
So I have a question. You guys get to pick. So,
all right.
So I'm gonna have our guests go first. How many times is the Silver Shamrock theme played in this movie?
Okay.
So anyway, just guess whatever.
I'm going 8.
8. Okay, 8 times.
I'm gonna Price is Right. I'm gonna go 7.
Well, it's closest overall. So
5.
It is 14 times.
Holy shit! I had to know here. How much money did
God.
Silver Shamrocks have to spend on advimising? Because it is everywhere.
They clearly didn't put a lot of money into the adhesive to make the thing stick to the mask very well. The microchip, right? Because the fuel kept falling off.
But they bought 3 full channels.
Yeah.
For this thing,
but they
were only 8 channels in 1983.
It's like it's like a Super Bowl level ad.
It was,
right? Yeah,
absolutely.
But not even that. 8. I mean, at least 8 days before Halloween.
Oh no, it was every day. Yeah, it was every day.
Every day. Yeah. So we don't know how early they started it. This could have been started at the beginning of October.
Kyle Cochran's got. Well, I mean, he's got no labor costs. I mean, other than like orange juice refills or something. So he's really good. He's
California oranges.
Low overhead. Exactly. So I mean, that's how I saved money. No clue.
So Mitch, going real quick back to the customer appreciation.
Yeah.
I guess did he just kill them because he's like, well, we're going to kill everybody.
Yes.
They can't be
I
witnesses.
believe that was
and
it.
Well, yeah, he wanted to do one final. I mean, he needed one final test. That's why he brought him
Well,
down.
it's a better prank if there's a kid, obviously, right? It's a good prank.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
And then
That's all the
if
best
it's
pranks are
the
on
best
kids.
salesman of your, the best independent salesman of your thing, that's an even better prank. It's just multiple levels. of
Well, in the
prank.
DVD, there's a deleted scene where the kid kicks Colonel Cochran in the shin.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, not really. There's no deleted scenes
Okay.
because this is 1983.
They barely got to 98 minutes. There's nothing.
We were
was cut.
stretching.
I mean, that is true because in this movie, there's a lot of just like scenes of just like people walking, people looking, people running, but like running like the whole length, like horizontally across the entire screen, with no cutaway at all. I mean, they really capture the movements in this movie for sure.
There's so much, yet they stretched out so much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they really stretched it out.
Incredible. Yeah, I don't understand. I still don't understand what the snake. I get that this is supposed to be a sacrifice to the pagan gods for a better harvest. Although I don't know that they're farming anymore. The whole point was that he pretty much like bought the land and decided to make a prank toy factory, like a really shitty Willy Wonka. And then
he is a shitty Willy Wonka.
Someone wanted tour.
The Silver Shamrock commercial is basically Irish Oompa Loompas.
It is. To London Bridge.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But I don't understand what part of the sacrifice is we're gonna just go ahead and just load you up with bugs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bugs are terrifying.
Sure.
I don't know. These
Coming out of dead children,
I get that. At the same time,
it doesn't make any sense.
I do like the child death in this movie. I like when they let kids die. Just in general,
I like
because most movies that kind of pull their punches. And
you're off the
in
babysitter
this movie
list.
they don't. Huh?
I told you this movie is ahead of its time.
Yeah.
And
we talked about that when we saw the new Annabelle movie. Where truck just plows right over that one girl.
Yeah.
They usually do pull the punch. They don't show it, but this definitely was like, we're gonna murder some kids today.
But imagine you got hit with a car, but then like bugs came out of it. It's like it's an extra level that you just don't get usually. Yeah, so I like that.
Yeah, one thing I don't get, I like to be involved with the kids.
Sure.
Like to be involved with the kids, got two of my own. So I'm going in this room for Customer Appreciation Day, as Lisa so aptly put it. Why am I just sitting on the couch watching my kid in the mask? I want a mask. I mean, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's kind of a dick move, right? Because I'm going in and I don't get to enjoy this as well. I get to just watch.
Also, this is
the most boring room ever.
Okay,
the most boring room ever.
Yeah.
Why is there a living room in this control room?
And
here?
why is he not suspicious? He tries to open it. He's like, "Oh, I guess it's locked from the outside."
Why is it a
Whatever.
plaid couch?
Yeah, this is also a ballsy move for a time period when people don't have aren't really recording the giveaways at 9 o'clock. They're all out trick or treating.
What was the giveaway though? Like they kept saying it's all
the giveaway was a bunch of bugs, a lifetime supply of bugs.
Yeah, well,
out of your face.
The thing is that so
everyone's a winner.
Going on my gambling thing, so you don't know what you get, right? Because someone gets bugs, someone's face gets whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So what if they're in that room and then the kid's face just explodes and then nothing else happens? Then the parents are just in there. This seems like a really, really ineffective plan. Maybe it should always be snakes.
Do you think it was just
effective
because it wasn't attached to the mask? Like she just had it.
Okay. Oh, that was the misfire.
I think that was I think that's why. It was. I don't know.
You're applying way too much
I'm
logic
trying to
to
put
this. I love it.
some sort of logic.
Normally it's me going, well, actually, if they did that. No, all right.
That's what I don't know.
The malfunction was the face explosion.
It was the direct
when it
laser
performs
to the
correctly,
face.
snakes and bugs are coming out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's smart. All right.
Y'all are putting a lot more thought.
I don't know why.
Into this.
Put more thought than Colin Cochran did in it. That's for sure.
That's for damn sure.
Okay, so again, I feel like I could spend hours talking about this movie.
Yeah.
But I want to get us at least to the last little section of scenes here. Dr. Dan's figured out what's going on.
Yeah.
All the test subjects have been killed in the final processing. And he is left in a room to essentially, he gets a mask put on him as well.
Yeah.
But he's able to escape out of it.
Hold on. So he escapes by throwing the mask, right? The mask hit, and then the mask covers.
Oh, yeah. With the most incredible mass throw of all time. Cleveland Browns are signing this dude right off the market.
Okay. So they tried it in practice. First time.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yes. But then they had to actually film it. How many takes did it take?
So they
After
tried
made
it. They
the
weren't
first time.
filming it when he got it.
Well, they had to practice. They're like, okay, well, let's set it up. Let's make sure like it's the right distance and all that stuff. And once they
my
got it, then they
God.
had to film it. How many takes did it take? Mitch, you go first again.
43.
100.
100.
32.
It was 40. Ooh.
Boom. 43
40
felt right.
takes.
40 so it got the right the first time.
And 40.
Then 40 takes.
That is why you always stay filming. You can cut it later.
I mean, I don't know, but yeah, they totally.
That's incredible.
Jesus.
Because that throw is absolutely ridiculous.
1 million out of 2.5 million was spent on film just to capture that one scene.
Mustache grooming and orange juice and that was the.
I love how simple yet brilliant it is. Oh, the camera's not working. Well, I guess no one's going to come check it. It's total Bond villain.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just completely.
Well, what I don't like is that so they have this very, very open control room with Stonehenge, like a factory, right? Basically, very wide open. He's able to get. I mean, this control panel is roughly in the very middle of this room, and there's about a dozen guys in this room, maybe, and he's able to sneak all the way into the middle of this control room.
Oh yeah. Oh, behind a rack of like. Well, it looks like basketball.
Well, no, and then at one point they do the moving the on wheels on wheels moving like hiding behind the.
Yeah, it's like a Scooby fucking Doo
He's a
mystery.
superstar.
What is everyone typing, by the way? You know, like all the robots are at the computer. We've got the commercials signed up. We're just ready.
Yeah.
And what are we typing?
Well, and the computers don't mean anything for the commercial.
Well, no, but
because they all blow up and it still works.
Exactly.
But when they did the test for the seller guy, to start the sequence, the guy hit 666. I don't know if you guys caught that.
Oh,
or not.
I know.
Yeah, it was actually really awesome.
That's great.
I rewound. I was like, oh yeah, they got it. So that did something at least. That was the buttons worked there.
So, and when did she become the robot? Okay. This is a part of the film that's always bothered me because she attacks him out in the parking lot. But if you're already a robot, why didn't you stop him before he blew everything
up? So his
up?
girlfriend Ellie, right, is her name, right? She gets kidnapped, and that's why he has to go in. He has to go. You know.
He doesn't have to.
Well, he's like, well, you know what? Anything to not have me be with my kids, I'm on it.
After this whole piece, I bet he's telling himself, this is the last time I go chase after a side chick. I'm just gonna...
false. No, but so she gets kidnapped, right? And then he has to go from their hotel, right? And then he has to go, get her. Yeah, like what's the length of time? I mean, that's like an hour, or that's like 2 hours. I mean, they made a robot real quick.
Yeah.
This guy's got it down. You should be able to fix that antique one, no problem.
Are you sure? Are you sure they didn't make the robot from the first time that they saw her? Maybe he already had it ready to go.
But why?
I don't know.
Of everybody?
He's made 1,000 robots. What's one more?
Is there a Dr. Dan robot out there?
There probably was.
And how many robots is that thing tagging?
All of them. God.
All of them.
Wow.
I mean, these are the questions that people want to know.
Yeah.
And by the people, I mean me.
These are the cliffhangers you're left with.
You've literally accurately described the plot of Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
Oh God! All right, so we've talked a bit about I don't know when she becomes a robot. At no point, no guest will give you a satisfactory answer.
Never explain
because
close.
No matter when, you always have to think on, well, why didn't she stop it here, there, or this point? Was she never under their control? I don't know. I think that she was turned when they kidnapped her and brought her into like the shady auto shop looking thing. That's but still, I don't know. We'll never know. You no idea.
You won't believe how they did it.
You won't believe how they did it. All right, so he does. I don't even remember how he actually. At this point, I'm scribbling a lot of notes at this point.
Wait, so what?
How he ends up beating Colonel Cochran at this point and turning him into.
It's the old sneak into the middle of the room when everyone's looking at you, hit buttons, steal microchips, climb to the roof or to the rafters, drop them on people move. Very, very time honored ninja / nothing. I have nothing. I can't even continue talking. But that's basically what it is. He grabs the microchips. He sneaks up to the rafters, and then drops them, and then Stonehenge magnifies it. I don't know.
Yeah, I just said somehow activates ring
blue,
of robots.
like night.
Yeah.
Just imagine like really, really bad special effects, blue lasers in 1982, just going on to everybody.
Yep.
Maybe Dr. Dan's a lot smarter than we gave him credit for.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, again, he
Why is Stonehenge paper mache, by the way? That bothered me as well because I know the budget's low.
You
but
can get a rock.
Whoa, we can get a rock.
every time they shave off some to put it into the microchip, they just add paper mache.
Yeah, there's a little newspaper that comes off. It was really,
I don't
really
know.
bothered me. Yeah.
Yeah, that was rough. And they were really working intently on like not turning around. Like, it's
Yeah.
Halloween day. Why are you still working? I don't get why were there
They're
boxes?
still making millions of masks.
Why were there hundreds, if not thousands, of boxes still in this place? If those are literally supposed to go to people to kill them with this one commercial that only airs one time, why are you still making the mask? It makes no sense.
Exactly. And Cochran can't even see what's going on. You know, you've spent years, weeks, months on this. And so you're just going to watch it from this control room where you can see nothing?
right.
I don't know.
I don't know. These are the questions.
I'm starting to like the movie less now.
Yeah, that's usually how these podcasts.
It happens.
How these episodes work.
We dug too deep.
All right. Well, let me bring you back into it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the ending, which I'm not gonna say it, one of the best endings of a horror film ever.
I like that kids die. Other than that, I don't know.
We'll talk about that, in a therapy session, I guess, for you, man.
Sure.
I don't know. That seems weird. No, he does fight off his robotic chick after she tries to attack him like 3 times.
Well, this
in
is
various manners.
This is the scene for me. This is probably my favorite scene. They're in the car. They're trying to escape.
Yeah.
Turns out she's a robot. He rescued the robot. That was actually a good twist. I really, really liked that. Then her arm comes off. He's fighting her one-armed. He does okay. I'm not gonna say he does well. He does okay.
Again, not a very good James Bond. But
then he's fighting an arm. Just the single arm by itself comes after him. Then he's fighting like just the torso.
Yeah.
He's like barely escaping a torso. I mean, he's
one of
really
these things, and he
having
keeps like catching his breath, and then he gets attacked again.
Well,
there's always like a
yeah. I mean, I wrote at one point his main and only move in this movie is to slow down and ask for a drink. He does it like 3 times throughout the movie.
In his defense, he hadn't had a drink in like 24 hours.
That is
and
true.
I feel
That
like
is
it's kind of like
true.
superhero elixir, or he's extremely hungover.
Wasn't-
He'd had a rough day.
yeah.
So he went to the gas station not to save the world.
Nope.
Not for his kids.
Nope.
Where's the alcohol? That's why he grabbed
That's
the guy.
right.
He
That's
went up
right.
and grabbed the guy. Yeah. Who knows?
Then went, oh crap! There's that commercial. I heard the jingle. By the way, the TV state. Okay, so let's talk about these employees at the TV. Let's talk to the employees at this TV station. So fired. So fired. Hey, it's a bad commercial. Take it off. I mean, done.
Well, he says, look, I'm going the other way. If some random guy calls me, I'm the TV station guy. It's Halloween. First of all, tons of pranks on Halloween, most likely. The guy calls me and he goes, hey, this company made these masks. If you play this commercial, all these people will die. And you listen to that guy within about 30 seconds, a minute.
If that.
Taking it off the thing. I mean, that's actually a pretty quick response time. I was going to go the opposite direction. I was going to say these people are great.
They're
Not
great.
Channel 3.
Well, you're both
Not
right.
Channel 3,
They're
yeah.
great human beings. They are so fired because when they have to explain that right up to their boss the next day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, why'd you turn off the server? Well, we got a call.
Actually, I'm going to reverse my point of
The
view,
server,
and I'm going to
that's
say that
generous.
I like this TV employee because he totally screwed with Dr. Dan here,
Yeah.
right? So he said, "Oh yeah, we'll take it off this one," and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll take it off this one. Not the third one though. I got you."
Yep. That's
We
the
need
best
that
prank
money,
of
bro.
all.
That's the best prank of all.
Yeah.
You just killed humanity, but whatever.
Good job.
Lisa, I have a question for you. Explain to me how this works with different time zones.
Bro, really?
Yeah.
I
don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. This is being broadcast.
I just wrote,
out of
what
Cal-
about time zones? It's all caps. You
Well,
can
yeah.
see it right there.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. 9 o'clock on California coast.
Yeah.
The folks in New York, and
Yeah.
certainly the folks in illustrious Baton Rouge,
Yeah,
Louisiana.
when Baton Rouge gets screwed.
Did you like that shout out, Bill?
I was like, what'd
Baton
they do?
Rouge.
Baton Rouge with underline in my
Oh
notes.
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right there.
I started to wonder if that was why it's like, oh look, our city's there because that's where you.
Yeah.
New Orleans would have made more sense.
In between Omaha and Louisiana in the list of cities they showed just for some reason.
No kid in New York is up at 11 o'clock. Unless it's a weekend. Well, it was a Sunday night, so no, they wouldn't have been.
Would have been later because the thing started at 9, I thought.
Yeah, 9. That's 3 hours difference.
Oh, 3, so midnight. Yeah, they're not. No way.
See, you gotta go prime time. These guys, bad planning all around.
Yeah, but you got to remember the time period we're talking about. I remember Publishers Clearinghouse and people losing their shit over these mailers coming out. So, I mean, it is entirely feasible that everyone is up for the Halloween mask giveaway.
That's the thing. Okay, that would have been fine, but what the hell was the giveaway? If it had been like, stay up,
it was
you may
so
win $1 million.
good you don't even know.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even believe it, Lisa.
Yeah. You wouldn't even believe it. You might win Stonehenge.
Oh,
take a piece of history home with you today.
Yeah. Wow. I just wrote in this is something I wanted to say that I really liked. One of the things I liked in this movie was the music was still John Carpenter good, I would say for sure. Yeah. But a lot of times the music was like really tense and like good, I would say, and the action was just like not living up to the level. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like this good John Carpenter music, a little bit of synth, like something like happening, and like just someone just like looking around a corner. Like it was really, it really was anticlimactic in a lot of parts. I wrote that like 4 times in my notes. That's why I brought that up. Oh man.
All right, so let me ask you this: anything else that you want to bring up that we didn't talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, let me ask you this real quick. What was your favorite death in this movie? Of all the death scenes, there were a surprising amount, I think, for a non-Michael Myers slasher film.
The body count was 9. But the one thing I did want to mention is that part of the plot is that he's trying to call out of Santa Mira, but then he keeps getting the operator. Same thing coming in. The voice of the operator was actually Jamie Lee Curtis.
Really?
I don't know if you guys caught that or not.
No,
I did not catch that.
Yeah,
No.
It was awesome. So she was in the first 3 movies. Only one audio, obviously, but yeah, she was in there.
She'll be back in the remake next
which is
year.
really cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so Bill, favorite death in this one?
Drill to the head.
Drill to the head.
Drill to the head. And what was her point in the movie? I know she's trying to figure out that they're robots. She finds a little part. She's clicking it. Next thing I know,
the point of her in the movie is to like sift through gears.
Yeah,
she's
sift through ashes.
Now, my question was: this is the worst of the robots because all the other robots are killing people with their bare hands. This guy's got to use a drill. This guy's lazy. It's like an early model. He had to use a weapon. None of the other ones used
weapons.
That's
like after the knitting woman is the drill guy. It's right.
Yes, that is exactly it.
0.2.
Nate, what about you? What was your favorite?
I mean, the freaking eye gouge move in the hospital was pretty rough.
Oh yeah, the totally shattering his skull.
Yeah, like he just like all the orbital bones are just gone.
You talk about the Bills being lazy. This one just went overkill. You didn't need to do that much to kill this guy. Is pretty much laid up.
Was he dead? So this is the guy that escapes the Santa Mira the first time, right?
Yeah.
Ends up going to the hospital. He's delirious. He's just sitting there. They let this. I mean, what are those guys? You guys watch Fringe?
Yes.
Yeah.
What are the names of those guys?
Oh God.
They go in between with they wear like the hats and stuff.
I mean, I know what you're talking about.
It kind of reminds me of that. Very memorable, obviously, because I don't know their names. But it's like the Fringe guy comes in, right? Comes in. The guy's just sitting there. He's clutching the mask still, and he just. I mean, he goes in his eyes, but he's like breaking the bones like above his eyes, like his brow bone, just like going in there. I mean, that was rough, and why the guy quit, one of the original writers, why he sued to get his name taken off of, because they show it, right, too, and it is, like, his skull is just jacked.
Yeah,
that was intense.
This is pre-Game of Thrones, Mouse versus
exactly.
Viper.
It really was, actually, yeah.
And it was just as horrific.
And then I guess
if the mountain burned himself alive afterwards. What was that all about?
And that's what I like. Yeah. That's actually the part that makes my favorite kill, is that then I mean, again, the doctor can't run fast. This guy's just walking. He can't even catch him. He walks to his car, puts gas on himself, lights himself on fire, car explodes. Love it. That was fantastic, actually.
Well, Lisa, what about you? Your favorite death in this one?
I mean, I don't want to say favorite, but because it's the kid, and I don't really like it. But one, if I'm that kid, there's no way in hell I'm going to my dad's business meeting. That sounds like the most boring thing ever.
You got a choice.
Even his wife's like, why the hell are we here? He's like, oh, we're just going to talk business. Then you did not need me and you did not need
But think
the
about it
kid.
this way. What if your dad explains, you're going to a place with with a lot of toys and like a toy museum that you can go in? That's kind of cool.
But they had already taken the tour. They went back the next day.
that's true.
I'm like, already been there. I got my
right.
mask. I'm done. I'm not
I was
going.
going to say, Mitch, this
But
place.
did they go the next day? I think they were just held up there for a long.
No, they went.
Well, the way
went
they brought him
next
back
day.
was because of they were doing like we need you to look at these commercials.
Right.
I'm
Yeah. He's like, well, I need your opinion.
Yeah.
So one, I'm not going with my dad, and two,
wait, what did they?
That was the slowest reaction to a kid being hurt ever. He falls down and he's writhing in agony, and they're like, maybe there's something wrong with this child.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, these dads are not great. You know,
No,
across the
terrible.
board, they're-
Just
But
terrible.
why would okay? So if it's Halloween, right, and you've already clearly paid for the ad time, and have had a million commercials already, so you clearly have it in the tank. Why do you need input on the commercial?
I
was
know.
just
I
there to
think they
get
were
to kill
doing
him.
a new commercial. I think they told him these are
that's
for our
what it
new
is.
commercials.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still,
But I don't know why they won't take my orders for next year.
Still a bad dad though.
Jesus.
Plus, that is not a San Diego accent. Like I said, he's from San Diego. False. False.
It was
Yeah.
as good as Cochran's Irish accent.
Right?
Well, yeah. That is
See,
true.
unlike Bram Stoker's Dracula, they did not pay for
Yeah.
the accent classes
Well,
for these
That's
folks.
how they kept the
a
budget
mistake.
low.
Yeah, that's well.
Aye, but how
2.5
much worse
million.
would it have been to be talking like this the whole time?
Yeah.
You'll never believe how we did it.
All right.
Oh, you'll never believe how we did
this,
it.
this podcast is getting definitely anti-Irish. All right, so mine was the hobo, who, after a week at best threat of using Molotov cocktails to burn the place down, he gets his whole head just ripped straight off.
There's a lot of head. All the robots go for the head, and that's good
They don't
programming.
mess around.
That's
Yeah,
really good
that's good
programming. They always go for the head. Always.
As a data scientist, you
I
you
mean,
are.
it's efficient.
Yeah, that's
Well, except for when they can't fight through one pneumonia-addled person. Other than that, though,
Well, look,
they got it.
That is not the worst thing that hobo has said the whole time
No,
that he's been living in
no.
that town. I
I
mean,
mean, that's what I mean. Yeah, that now.
you feel
they-
like one robot just like malfunctioned, said, "I've had enough of this guy's shit," and this
You know what?
is
You know what?
I've
I'm
been
gonna do-
listening to this
He
for
became
weeks.
sentient,
Well,
and the
his
first thing is pop the
buddy,
guy's
his-
head off.
well, there's two robots that have to take this guy out, and the other
Yeah.
robot's probably like, dude, just let it go. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not
Let it
worth
go.
it.
It's not worth it.
No, I'm gonna say something.
You're better than
I'm,
him.
I'm done with this shit. I'm gonna
Tired
go.
of this.
I'm taking
done.
care of it now. It ends tonight. That's how that played
Don't
out.
overload your circuits, Mitch. Don't do it.
All right. With all that said, then I've got to ask, what would you have done differently?
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
I'm gonna jump in and take the lead on this one.
Yeah.
If I'm Colonel Cochran and I have Dr. Dan, the James Bond to my Dr. Evil, in this room with the
Dr.
mask.
No, yeah.
Dr. Well, that's right.
This,
Whatever.
this,
Dr.
no,
Evil.
this escape is literally almost a shot-for-shot Dr. No.
Is it really?
Because James Bond and Dr. No, the first James Bond movie, he actually climbs out a grate. The first grate is booby-trapped, and then he climbs out that same grate, crawls through the things, sees that there's a person who is tied down, Ursula Andress, in that movie, and then he gets her, and they actually end up escaping, and the whole thing explodes.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So I've got a million of these robot,
Yeah.
witch people here.
Yeah.
How about I leave one in the room with him?
Yeah.
Just one is
Yeah,
all that's probably
just
needed.
one.
Maybe he can't do his little, break the TV.
Yeah, make it like a Red Rover line.
Why is he in a
just
chair
can't
that
get
can
around.
move?
Yeah.
How is he shimmying over to break the TV?
Because they need all these robots typing. It's very important.
They used
They
all
don't have
the
anybody to spare.
They're all out murdering the rest of the hobos in the town.
like the most mechanical of keyboards. Like the clicking so loud they didn't hear him. That's what
There
it
you
was.
go,
Okay,
yeah.
got it. Okay.
So that, I mean, simply, that's what I would have done differently. Nate, how about you?
Man, if I was Colonel Cochran, and so his plan is very inefficient. I think he's got people have to wear masks. They have to be by the TV. They have to be in the right time zones. They have to watch this commercial, and no one's got to figure out my plan. So I go super efficiency. I give all the masks away for free. Okay, maximum coverage there.
Right.
But
But then how do you pay for the commercials?
Huh?
How do you pay for all
He's
the
already got
commercials?
tons of money. No, I'm saying like the last week. The last week.
Oh,
you
the
get
last
like,
week.
Yeah, not the whole time. Yeah. You get like saturation.
Like those
I got you, I got you,
100,000
I got
that
you.
they're still making.
Exactly.
Just
That's what I was
spread
going
them
to say.
around.
The ones that are in boxes that are not sold on Halloween when you're trying to murder people, maybe they're going to come looking for you after that. Those are all worthless. Give those out for free, right? You get maximum coverage. Give me the primetime slot and each across from the East Coast backward, and then I just beef up my security a little bit.
Just a little.
Maximize it a little bit. Everything goes well. You can kill millions of kids. Good, best prank ever. You laugh off into the Irish sunset.
How many masks did they make? Because when they showed the Stonehenge,
It looked like
they've
millions.
literally chipped off like
Yeah.
a small pebble of
Yeah.
the Stonehenge
They're
to make millions of masks.
They're like at the atomic level of the Stonehenge. Like,
Like that is
it's like a I don't know. They had high tech equipment. They had cameras. There's robots. I mean, this guy can do it all. Just don't worry about it.
Little known fact: in 1983, there were only 3 Halloween costume choices that kids could go with. Apparently, as well. What is the deal with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. No.
Mix it up a little bit. Maybe that's the fourth one. Get better.
I mean,
coverage.
I'll say this right now. If you went for the pumpkin head, you probably deserve to die. That was the worst one of the masks. Worst mask. Easily. You back me up. Worst mask is that pumpkin mask.
Pumpkin mask. Bad.
Yeah, thank you. Lisa, what would you have done differently?
So I need Bill's opinion on this because you've got kids.
Yeah.
We've got one on the way, but I don't, know yet. If you told your kids, hey, everyone is going as Iron Man, you should go as Iron Man 2, would they do it or would they be like, no, I want to be something different?
No, there's no way in hell they're going for that.
Yeah.
Come on.
So and all these kids, everyone, there's going to be 100,000 pumpkins running around in little goblin masks and stuff.
If you give it away for free, there would be.
For free, I understand, I guess. But so what I would do differently if I was the mom is I'm making their Halloween costumes. None of this store-bought bullshit. I'm hand making it.
Yeah, but
that's what you're taking away from
That's what I'm doing differently.
I'm gonna make
So the only kid alive is Charlie Brown and his little bag of
come
rocks,
on,
and that's
man.
it.
Well, but I thought
He's gonna complain, but when he's still alive the next day with all that candy, he's gonna be fine.
He's still alive the next day.
But he's gonna
He's
get beat
fine.
up by any kids that didn't go
They'll
out.
be dead.
Go take their candy. But I thought that
Just
she
saying.
bought the mask because she knew the ex-husband, Dr. Dan, was going to try
She
to
did it
buy
to
it
spite
out.
him?
I think she
Yeah.
I think she went and purposely bought the really expensive fancy mask as
Yeah.
the rage to kind of one up him and make sure, like, no,
I'm
you
sure she
can't.
did.
You can't just half-ass
Yeah.
this shit. You're gonna have to work at it.
Dr.
Yeah.
Dan blew mask money on the MGD.
In his head, he was thinking, "You're lucky I got you anything at all."
You're right.
That was in
Absolutely.
his head. He's like, "You're lucky."
Bill, what do you do differently if you're someone?
Man, I don't mess with perfection. But I don't mess with perfection. But a couple things, just a tweaks.
But a couple of things.
I could see Burt and Lonnie. Burt Reynolds and Lonnie Anderson in these 2 title roles
much
here
better.
would
Yes.
be. Come
Okay.
on,
So as the casting director,
yeah,
okay.
Burt
I like
and
it.
Lonnie without question. The tagline is bothering me. It's been. I've actually kind of had trouble focusing because you played that tagline at the beginning, "The night that no one comes home," because everyone has to be home. So I would change the tagline to "The night that everyone had to be home
By 9 p.m.
by 9 p.m. or 11 p.m. Central."
And in Santa Mira, the curfew was 6 p.m.
It was.
So it should be the night no one leaves home.
Oh, okay.
That's what it should have been. So one thing I forgot to mention, the very first thing that comes up in this movie is Mustafa Akkad Presents. Is the very first line on that thing. This guy was a Syrian American producer who did like the Halloween series.
Yeah.
And once this movie did not do well, he was unpleased. And he's one of the main reasons why they actually moved it back. Because he was the producer for all this stuff. I thought it was
So
crazy.
he's the one that
So it's like-
greenlit this plot line?
Yeah.
He greenlit
yeah,
he
this guy's like,
greenlit the first 2 though too.
Halloween,
So.
what can go wrong? Oh, yikes.
Ooh.
Okay, well let me ask you this. So awards then, Lisa, do you have an award you would give out to anyone?
That's a very good question. Come back to me.
All right, I'll jump in. The Game Recognizing Game Award goes to Colonel Cochran with his slow clap when he realizes he's been tested.
Now,
The slow clap was great.
his death,
Yeah.
his death makes the least sense because that it would posit a world in which Stonehenge recognizes dead robots as a sacrifice. How is this possible? because there's a sacrifice first, right? And that's so the dead robots were the sacrifice, and then he then gets, I don't know, like spaghettified or whatever. I don't know, like absolutely imploded.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what
CGI
happened.
not the greatest back then.
Yeah.
I don't really quite understand what happened to him, but I just appreciated the slow clap. Just
The slow clap was great. Yeah, that was good.
Game recognizing game. That's right.
Okay.
Nate, what do you got?
So I'm gonna go the doc, the doc that robbed the cradle award to Dan. So Lisa and I were talking about this before, but Ellie in this movie was 23.
Mm-hmm.
The actress, the actor who played Dan, was 47. Yeah. So that was a 24-year difference and an over doubling of age, which I thought was really gross. Lisa,
yeah.
The grossness was a huge was a factor.
So she apparently, that actress, when she was 17, was dating Woody Allen, who was 42. Woody Allen and this main actor were born in the same year.
Yeah.
So I guess she likes him old. I don't know, but that was not no. Not good.
That was gross.
She was one of the few people when they brought in for casting said, "How do you feel about dating a man more than twice your age?"
It's a living.
She's like, I'm totally fine with it.
It's a living.
Yeah. And then I told you that she ended up marrying the original Brad Majors. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
From Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So she was married to him for a little while. He was also at least, I think, not as severe, but he was like 16 years older than her. So I don't know.
And my backup award is most. I just wrote worst nationality Irish. For this as a person who is Irish with the last name of McIntyre.
I was about to say,
I can say
3 out of 4 people here have some Irish blood in them.
Yeah.
So
in this movie, worst nationality goes to the Irish.
Bill, what award would you give?
Least Irish town de La Santa Mira.
Fantastic. Lisa.
Yeah, so best original Scream, because I did like, we've talked about it a bunch where it's like these people obviously in these movies have never seen horror movies before because they don't know what the hell they're doing. So it's a nice nod to actually see the trailer for the first Halloween when he's sitting in the bar and be like, all right, so horror movies do exist in this universe. So I don't know why people didn't react that way. They were still just as dumb, but at least we know they're there.
Most horror movies don't have Irish
this
coven of witches that are made of robots.
It's a little more subtle. It's a little more subtle.
Yeah. Not a typical subject matter.
No.
And you'd be forgiven if you've missed another one that had anything to do with this. Okay, well, that brings us to the final section of the show.
Final cut.
Bill, lead us off. What rating would you give? So we out of 10, whatever scale you want. Yeah.
5.5 MGD lights.
5.5 out of 10 for your favorite horror
No,
movie?
5.5 out of 6. It's a 6-pack. You grabbed a 6-pack on the show.
So this is like a 9 out of 10 if you extrapolate.
Easy, solid 9 out of 10 because Dr. Dan would have at least drank the neck. There's no way.
So it's the holiday 5-pack.
It's a holiday 5-pack. That's right.
I love it. All right, I gave it a 6 out of 10 face melting LEDs.
Okay, yeah.
It's solid. It's bad, but it's great.
If you would have rated this like 10 years ago, what would it have been? Would it have been higher?
10 years ago, it would have been higher.
Okay, so
I would have given
rewatching it was a.
This is my 4th time through. I've asking a lot more questions about it because I used to just watch it without a podcast I had to prepare for. The podcast is starting to make me really.
It's like a fine Irish wine. It actually gets worse with age.
That is very accurate. Lisa.
I don't know. Maybe a 3 out of 10. It's the more times I watch it.
3 out of 10 what?
3 out of 10 jingles that get stuck in your head forever. Because no one can say Halloween 3 around me without immediately start bobbing my head to that damn jingle. But yeah, every time I watch it, just goes down and down. So if we watch it 2 more times, it'll be like a 1 out of 10. So
there you go.
Does it circle back? Up to
No,
again? Okay,
God,
does it?
It just gets
goes
better
negative.
then.
Yeah. So for me, if this, I like the premise of this film a lot. I think the premise was really good. Just the execution of a first time director. I wish I could have got, if Lonnie Anderson was in this movie.
Well, you do
way higher.
enjoy mass-based horror films, as Tourist Trap has taught us.
Sure. But I mean, I really wish they would have had it because I think this could have been like a really, really good, like solid, well-received movie. I think if they would have had the budget and stuff like that. Dan's acting, the writing for Dan was better than the acting by Dan, I think.
Sure.
The commercial repetitiveness really wore on me 14 times is rough. And I wrote, was Tom Skerritt not available? They had to get Tom Atkins, but that's another joke altogether. I like the face gruesomeness. I put that as a plus in my notes. I guess I'm just going to give this 3 out of 10 microchips.
Is this?
It's a low score, but I liked watching it. It's weird. It's a weird contrast. I don't know.
Yeah, that's.
It's like The Room.
I feel like it's a little harsh.
Yeah.
3 out of 10.
We are all over the place on this.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Is the movie better if one of the masks in this would have been Mike Myers' mask?
Oh, that would have been
I think that would have been cool.
That's 2 points by itself.
Yeah.
Especially if you have this whole meta thing of the movie being.
Yeah, they already had it. Exactly.
Yeah, all the kids are in Mike Myers.
Oh, and then the kid in the Mike Myers mask dies in the test.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mind blown over.
That would have been really good. Damn.
And that's not even that big of a budget increase. So
Halloween 3-2.
3-2.
Halloween
3-2.
3-2. Season of the Mitch. All right, there you go.
Well, all right. On that, that'll wrap it up for this week's episode. Nate, tell everyone where they can find us.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so you can check out our website at texaspodcastmassacre.com. You can tweet us what you think of Halloween 3 at TXPodMassacre. You can check us out and rate us on iTunes. Check us out on Facebook, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, all your podcast platforms.
Awesome. Bill, thanks so much for joining us.
You only removed the headstones!
Yep. And
that is a drop now. That is getting added. Next episode, that will be a drop.
That's definitely going to be a drop.
For sure.
Well, with that said, make sure to check your headstones. Make sure they are fully removed by a licensed professional.
Well, and what's below them, you literally did not get the point of the entire quote.
That's fine. Make sure to have a licensed professional come and take care of all your tombstones and what lies beneath.
Nice.
Happy Halloween to everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Nate, Lisa, I guess next time we come back, it'll be in November with whatever our next film is.
Yes.
I know Thanksgiving is coming soon.
Thanksgiving is coming soon. And we can regale the users with our Halloween costumes and all kinds of cool stuff next time.
Sounds good. All right, well, for all of us here at Texas Podcast Massacre, just keep telling yourself it's only a movie. Good night.